Hello and welcome to the National Leprechaun Museum's Talking Series. And today we are talking, well, what are we talking, Eleanor?
Mark, today is the day we're talking curses.
Swear words.
No, not swear words, not effing and blinding, but the art of Irish cursing, which I actually have a really good quote. Historic Irish cursing is best understood as an art because it requires knowledge, practice, wit, skill, and composure. And I think between the two of us, we should have that covered.
Most of it.
Most of it,
Most
yeah.
of it. It'd be like trying to bake without one essential ingredient. We just don't know what the ingredient
it's
we don't have is. But it's strange because when we get visitors into the museum, I used to always joke saying that we didn't have too many swear words in the Irish language. Now, modern Irish speakers have been incredibly clever with, I learned so much from Unmin Kavanagh's TikTok account.
Yes, indeed.
Great ways of saying things. But in terms of the actual curses, it's poetry, it's wordsmithery.
It is wordsmithery for smiting.
Yeah.
Yes, for smiting your enemies, like a supernatural justice.
Yeah.
You know, that there's a difference between a curse, which in Irish is malacht or malachti, the plural, and then like a pishog or like an evil spell.
Yeah.
A curse only really affects those who really deserve it, whereas an evil spell can be for anybody.
Yeah.
You know, broadly. But yes, so no, curses weren't, always used for smiting your enemies, whether that be, the local landlord or your mother-in-law. Curses could also be used to joke and jest and flirt and lament and so on.
Witty comebacks.
Witty comebacks, yeah.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't always the case that, depending on how powerful this curse was, because what you wanted really from a curse was it to be sort of so lyrical and dense that you would confuse the cursed for a few seconds that they couldn't think of a reply. Because if your curse wasn't up to scratch, then people could turn it on you.
Yeah.
Like, for example, an unjust curse could be cancelled out by the cursed person saying, "I cross you" or "crossamu." And then there's also an Irish proverb, "Curses like chickens come home to roost."
About it coming back at you.
Yes. Yeah.
Because I remember down in the shop of the museum, and indeed in lots of you see these ideas of the wishing jars, which are really sweet ideas. And I always loved years ago reading about curse jars.
Oh.
Which was this idea that you take a jar and you would put soil from where you live into it. People were putting nails and bits of iron into it as well, which again, if you're understanding Irish folklore, makes a lot of sense. And then people would do things like they would bleed into it or spit into it or pee into the jar. And then they'd close it up and seal it with wax and they'd take it far from where they lived and bury it in the ground. So that any of these curses that we're going to talk today, if they were put on you, that they would affect the jar and not yourself.
Wow.
And people who are clearly either paranoid or deserving of multiple curses in a year, in a cycle, would regularly go and change their jars.
Oh my God.
But there was great things of people digging up their jars and finding the jar cracked with a dead frog inside it, or it's still sealed and it's filled with beetles.
No way.
All these awful things. So people obviously had done, had put curses on towards the person anyway.
Yes, indeed. I hadn't heard of that, but I'd heard of cursing stones.
Yeah.
Which were, stones where people would go to drop to their knees and bang and curse to God to help them smite this person. Although people would just do that in the middle of the street as well if they were so moved.
I do that when I go into the shop and they don't have, there's none of that thing that I want. I'm slowly getting nervous.
Why, God?
Why are there no salt and vinegar palm bears anywhere? Because they've been done away with. But of course, up in Tory Island, they had a big thing with the cursing stones.
Yes.
Where they had them in the, can't remember the name, the dipped stone, and they turn them and it would turn away the ships that were coming to invade.
Wow.
Until famously a priest took the stones and cast them into the sea. Just threw them. They were apparently all gone. Now people say, no, I know someone who still has one of those things. But this is a way of life in Ireland. These curses, and of course, on the other side of that, you've all the cures. But curses were a daily occurrence if you were wronged in some way.
Yes, indeed. There were actually laws put in place in the 18th and 19th centuries to try and outlaw cursing, but they never really worked.
You can't get them to wear masks. You end up saying a bad word behind someone's back. I also read before that you had to say it to the person with some curses. It wasn't like that you could just go home and go, I hope he falls on his arse and his eyelids fall off.
And we can all do that.
Yeah. But that you had to actually curse the person. And I think a lot of the power would probably be really in the person seeing that they've been cursed.
Yes,
and
indeed.
The paranoia that sets in. Yeah, they'd be things I'd be worried about.
Yeah, because it's really hard to know how to react when someone has just cursed you.
Yeah.
Because some people might just, try and shake it off to, go, oh, curses aren't real.
And then as things go wrong for you and you stub your toe, things that we do, a dozen times a week suddenly have meaning.
Yes, but even if there were witnesses around when someone cursed you, but then even if the curse doesn't end up coming to pass, everyone's going to think you're cursed and you're automatically weaker then from now on. Or if anything ever bad happens to you, everyone will always attribute it to that day you were cursed. You were never the same after that.
No, that's right. And it's the people assuming and just waiting around for your demise, for something to go wrong. Well, we're gonna look at some of these curses today.
Yes.
And there's so many curses we couldn't possibly just like A to Z go through them. So we have our little pot here, our little cauldron, and we've got curses in it, and we're going to take the curses out.
Yes, indeed.
Now, just to be sure, okay, that when we are saying these curses, we are not directing them at each other.
No.
Nor are we directing them out into the world. The intention isn't there.
For you. We're not. I mean, you can go away and take them away and use them on someone if you see fit, but we're not cursing you here today.
Just remember that thing about it coming back on you then as well.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna dip straight in. I'm gonna take one. I'm gonna see what I think and see what you think on it. Now these are down Oscuelga in Irish and in English. I'm not a great Irish speaker, so I will be going with the English version of it.
Me
but
too.
Maybe we can make these available online for people to look at them.
Okay, lay it at me.
I'll tell you what though, just before I say this, the devil features so much.
Yes. Also, England and Cromwell. Well, not so much in the pot today, but
No, I get that. I get that. The tone changed in the room. The air was drawn from the room when you mentioned those things.
Yeah.
So here it says that the 12 devils take you with them. May the 12 devils take you with them.
Wow. 12 devils.
Yeah. Because this idea, when we think of the devil, we think of Satan, we think of Lucifer. But very specifically in other cultures, they'll use the name. Like we have our wooden carving of the Guatemalan Lucifer.
Yes.
And that's healers have that with references to many different belief systems. They'll have it on their tables in Guatemala. And but it's Lucifer. And they have, like piñatas, they have a thing but they always call it Lucifer because the devil, there are many different devils.
Yes.
So in this case, 12 devils take you with them.
Thank you.
Not you. We've already talked about this.
Yes, I know.
It just turned into a curse off between the two of us.
Yeah, it did.
We get our wands out. Stupefy.
I feel like the number 13 gets a lot of the buzz, but I think the number 12 has its own power as well. 12 devils.
Yeah, 12 apostles. I mean, there's so much probably into this that the people didn't understand the construction of these curses, the people who were using them.
I think they might have, but with just the curse on its own left, like we might even understand all the layers to these curses.
No.
You know?
No, we would not be teaching curses if the Leprechaun Museum was Hogwarts. I would not be the curses professor.
No.
I'd be the groundskeeper, simple as. I already look like Hagrid's toe. But you take them with them, but yeah, where would they be taking you? That's the thing.
Hell.
Yeah, but when I think of Ireland, and of course Christianity obviously is so prevalent in Ireland, but you know, got a fair bit of history coming pre-Christian times.
Ah, yeah.
Which is why I'm surprised when the devil gets mentioned so much, you know, and the idea of hell. We had this recently where we were looking at the story of Stingy Jack. Again, it's a post-Christian, it's a Christian Ireland that we're talking about. But yeah, in this one, yeah, I mean, 12 devils take you with them. I think I'd be okay with that. Especially at the moment. I mean, I can't imagine anywhere where the situation is much worse than we're going through. So they say change is as good as a rest.
Oh, I've never heard that before.
It'd be nice to have something different. Okay, so that's that one looked at then.
Okay, so my turn. Oh.
Get so nervous.
6 horseloads of graveyard clay upon you.
6 horseloads of graveyard clay upon you.
Yeah.
Not a bad thing. I don't see that as a curse, and the reason I don't see it as a curse, and not that I have any afflictions or anything at the moment, but a cure to kind of parry with this. A cure for a wart was to go to where there was a funeral and take a piece of earth from underneath the foot of someone carrying the coffin and spread it on the wart. That is in Lady Wilde's 1885 Irish Legends book.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I think I know it.
Yeah, that's got some great stuff about styes and that. So, I mean, if I was covered in 12 cartloads...
6.
Oh, sorry, 6 cartloads of graveyard clay, I think I'd love the pressure of it. It'd be like a weighted blanket or like it'd be the closest thing to a hug I'm getting at the moment. I would welcome the clay and the earth. I also love the smell of freshly dug ground. And I've no issue with graveyards. So
you're happy with this curse then?
I'm happy, yeah. Yeah, just I think I would find it quite reassuring.
Yeah. I myself wouldn't find, like, if I don't know if this is the case of they're saying you should be buried alive, or you know, if you know you're dead and you're being so obscured that no one will ever find you. 6 horseloads of graveyard clay. But
had it been manure, I would have been a lot more concerned.
Fair.
Yeah, but
who's gonna come to your funeral then?
Moving on. Because we only allow a certain number of people at funerals, but I'd be struggling to fill seats, I think. Let's see what else we have in there. My God, there's a lot in here. There's no way we're getting through all these today. Well, you've interlocked them like Christmas. Oh, this is a nice short one. Now. This is something I had shouted at me whenever things went wrong when I was a kid. And I struggle to see it as a curse, but it serves you right.
Yeah.
It serves you right.
It serves you right.
Okay. Which then I start thinking of the actual individual. It's only 4 words. But what serves me right?
Whichever comeuppance you've got. This curse?
Yeah.
That curse? Serves you right.
I deserve 6 cartloads of graveyard soil dumped on me.
Yeah.
Again, it would feel like a hug. Being hugged by Mother Earth. That's kind of nice.
You're having a great day. You're having a great spin on all these curses.
Do you know what? Things are so bad that I can just, you know, I'm looking for the good in everything. So it serves you right.
Yeah. Okay, I'll go for one now. This is quite a nice one. May you find the bees, but not the honey.
Yeah, See me, I'm like, yeah, that's what happened to me.
Did that happen to you?
No, that's the type of thing that would happen to me. You know what I mean? It's, yeah.
Irish curses are great for imagery and for cursing you with specific situations, like, oh, you're going to look for honey someday and you're not going to find it, but you're going to find the bees and they're going to chase you, and letting your imagination do the rest.
But it's the disappointment of that
Yeah.
is the thing that's annoying. It's like going over like and opening up your tea caddy, you know what I mean, and there's no tea bags. Or going to the fridge, you've poured out your cereal, you go to the fridge and there's no milk.
But moths come out instead.
Of your fridge?
Yes.
I mean,
you can't forget the bees.
I'm not forgetting the bees, and I'm only glad it was bees and not wasps, because
That's true.
I am terrified of wasps, which is well documented. But bees are amazing. I think, again, I'm looking for the positive.
That's true.
Hanging out with a load of bees. That's brilliant. They're adorable little fuzzy little things.
We do need more bees.
We do need more bees. So yeah, bees, but as long as their honey's okay. Because I actually don't eat honey.
Really?
Nah, no, not into it. It's not a thing for me.
Would you like to take another curse?
I would like to take another curse. They get more vicious as they go along. Oh, this is a big one. Oh, well, I'm definitely not aiming this at you, and I'm not aiming at anyone. That you may not be successful on the day.
Aww.
Yeah, that is kind of like...
That one's really getting to me.
Yeah, that's why I had to specify before reading it out.
Yeah, because our fortunes are so closely tied together now.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
How long's it been that we're doing this? Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, it's so. There's something about the specific. It's really specific.
Yeah, because it's like that thing. Like it's like if you practice and practice, and every day you're getting it right, and you're going, and when you go to actually do it, and it falls on its arse. I don't like that. May you not be successful on the day.
On paper, it sounds quite benign, but it actually. But like if you heard it at the wrong time, I feel like it might have an impact. It really might.
Driving tests. I mean, you know what I mean. I don't like that one. So to kind of, may you always be successful on the day, Eleanor.
Oh, thank you.
May you forever be successful on the day. That sounds like how it would be written.
Thank you, Mark, and the same to you. And the same to you.
Yeah, to you guys as well.
All right. That you may leave without returning. Go on now.
Go on now and don't come back.
Yes.
We don't want to see you around here.
No. That's really a nicer way of saying.
Feck off.
Feck off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is feck off and don't come back. I'm just honestly trying to look for a situation where I would leave somewhere and not come back.
Oh, well, maybe if, say, I've got the 6 great horse loads of clay coming on me, and you say, may you leave and not return, like you don't want me to come back.
From the dead.
From the dead.
I just drive a stake clean through you.
That's the only thing that'll do it.
Yeah, specific to you.
Yeah.
I'm going down the bottom for this. I'm literally scraping the bottom of the barrel. Oh, too many words. I like this one.
Okay.
It's just in English, but I can imagine Tom saying this because he says something quite similar to me on occasion in Irish. May you be afflicted with the itch and have no nails to scratch them. Yeah, it's not nice, isn't it?
No, it's not.
And when someone talks about itches or get mentioned, and then you can't help but like go, gosh, I feel a little bit of an itch there at the moment.
Yeah.
But may be afflicted with the itch.
The itch.
The itch, not an itch.
Very specific
the
itch.
itch, and not have the nails to scratch with. That's not nice.
That's not nice.
You want to be kitted up for every occasion, don't you? I mean, whatever you're going to face, it's preparation.
Yeah.
What's that thing they say about good luck is when preparation meets opportunity? I don't know who said it. I read it in a book by Nick Offerman.
Ah, that makes sense.
But someone else said it.
This is a fierce one now.
She got a lot more country there when she said that.
He did. Oh, Jesus, big heart. This is a fierce curse that I place on no one. May the cat eat you, and may the devil eat the cat.
Yeah, that's fair. I think we saw because we had a Zoom call last night with our fellow storytellers. Hello, and I was joined by both my cats on separate occasions. I don't think my cat would want to eat me.
No, if they got hungry enough.
But I provide their food, so it's very short-sighted of my cat to eat me, because then he'll provide them with food.
What if the food ran out? They got hungry enough.
I
you're not eating as well because there's no food, and you start getting slower and slower.
In fairness now, I'm eating fairly well, truth be told. But then the devil to eat the cat.
And not even the devil, the devil.
The devil.
The devil.
D-I-V-I-L. And is it the devil or a devil?
The devil.
Oh, the actual main one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So not only are you in the cat's stomach, you're also in the devil's stomach.
Yeah, I'm not into that.
No.
But I can't see that being appealing for either of anyone involved.
No. The cat dies as well.
Yeah.
And the devil probably gets indigestion.
More than likely.
Yeah.
Okay, the devil featuring yet again. And you say there's no Cromwell ones in here that you know of?
No, I didn't want to bring that into this.
This is the thing again. Like, I mean, they're choosing things that either won't happen, are so far flung that you'd be worried, like the being eaten by the cat and the cat eaten by the devil. I've got another one here, which is may you be eaten by an awful itch.
Oh God!
And that's the kind of thing where it's like every time you would have an itch, and you'd scratch, that you'd think that's the curse.
That's the curse.
Which then snowballs into you, like it continuing on and on. Too much. I wouldn't like that at all. Maybe eaten by an awful itch. No, not into it.
Yeah.
It's like it just being said and you thinking about it causing you to physically react.
Yeah.
It's like the yawn thing. So
stop it. Okay.
Because you have then where people will react to it. It's a visual stimulus causing a physical reaction, which is unusual.
That the bad weather leaves with you.
So when I go, the bad weather will be gone as well.
So you'd always be under rain, let's say, and storms and clouds. But we'd be, having fun in the sun. I
remember talking to a nice couple at the front a couple of summers ago. They were from Florida, and it was beautiful outside the front of the museum. It was end of July, it was gorgeous. And they were like, "Oh, we brought the sun with us." And I was like, "Well, go away and take it with you." Because when it's too sunny, like, people don't want to be indoors in the museum.
No.
Unless you get with the Irish, when you get past day 3 of the sun, Irish people are sick of it.
Yeah, the novelty's worn off.
The novelty's worn off, and you just want to be back indoors again and in the shade and getting away from it.
So you literally cursed people with this at the front of the museum. Had they bought tickets yet?
No, and honestly, I'd like to say that they did, but I don't. Actually, I do remember there was too long of a wait for them because they were heading off to do Glasnevin Cemetery.
Where they would have, and that's an outdoor activity where they would have taken the nice weather with them.
But I told them when they were going home, but that's for me to take the bad weather with me, is that course.
Yes.
So when I leave, everyone's happier.
Yeah.
I take the misery out of the room.
Yeah.
Out you go and take the smell with you. It's a bit like that. Let's see what else we have here. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, see, I like this one now.
Okay.
A widow's curse upon you. What's a widow's curse?
So, it's the curse of a widow, and the widow would often have, especially in the heights of her grief, many reasons to curse and many people to curse as well, depending on how she became a widow. A widow was one of the, there were in the main 3 people or 3 cursors or casters who you'd be most afraid of being cursed by, and that would be a widow, a beggar, and most of all a priest.
Would priests be doing much cursing?
They would.
That's not very Christian of them.
Well, it's sort of like, sure, priests are great for cursing. They're on the pulpit and they're like, "May the devil smite you for not washing your teeth," or whatever.
Washing my teeth.
Yeah, because in the village,
just give me a scrub. No, I wouldn't mean to see when I hear the widow's curse though. I was thinking, is that a curse issued by the widow or the same curse that is on a widow?
That would be the curse that the widow places. That's a widow cursing you. See,
I wouldn't. I would have thought, like, for me to experience her grief, which is her curse, is her burden. But they want to get a bit more. I wonder if there's T's and C's with curses, terms and conditions.
Oh gosh.
A manual to go along with them.
I don't know. I think that brings it more into the cluttering it with things like that brings it more into the sort of the human realm, whereas curses, and especially that's why the priest curse was so feared, was because he was literally calling on God, to curse you. It's bigger than us,
Yeah, and I suppose it's one of the differences, bar the obvious differences between curses and cures, is if I am curing myself of a wart using clay from underfoot of someone carrying a coffin,
Yes.
the wart's either gone or it's not.
Mm.
So it's like, oh well, it didn't go, so that didn't work. But with a curse, there's that it hanging over you. Like, what's the I can't think of the phrase now. What's the best before date? Sorry, I can't think of the clever way of saying it. But what's the best before date on a curse?
Well, the thing is, curses can be quite long, and if you're putting a curse on someone, you do have the option of, you could curse someone, oh, at every full moon this will happen to you, or for 4 summers, or I curse you and your children and your children's children,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's how.
Because there's a lot of great curses in our stories, and immediately when you say that, I'm thinking of the Beast of Ossory.
Oh yes.
Where they're turned into wolves. A couple are turned into wolves, and it's a generational thing. And it was Jared, was the Welsh holy man.
Oh yes.
Who happens across them in that story, and he approaches the Vatican. He writes off to the Vatican to see if he can give last rites to these elderly couple of wolves who were going to pass away. But the curse was going to continue on past them. I suppose that brings you back to how do you break a curse, and how do you break generational curses? We're not going to solve that here today, but it's something to think about.
Yeah. If you find out, please let us know.
Yeah.
I have a curse now. It is the place below that is meant for you, you devil.
The basement. It's very smelly down in our basement. Again, that you're casting me off down to hell.
I am, yes. Are you lost for words?
Yeah, I mean, I can't help but take it personally.
That's exactly what we said we weren't going to do. But you're saying, you're giving me itches, and I'm like, no, not the itch. I guess you can't. They're strong enough. I mean, there are more, like I was saying before at the start, there's, curses that, you'd give to a friend, or curses to joke and flirt and so on. Like, if a curse here, for friends that you've been drinking with, where you might say, bad luck to your own soul for the headache you gave me yesterday with laughing at your old stories and drinking your new wine.
So, okay, because you entertain me and
you've given me a hangover.
You've given me by looking after me so well, you've given me a hangover, and I'm annoyed at you because of that.
Well, I think it's more like...
You ungrateful bastard is all I mean.
Yeah. But there's a different intention.
But that's where you were talking about at the start, about this kind of playfulness of like a witty return and that, and a bit of a comeback. And that's fair enough. It's not resulting in anything bad, it's just a curse on you.
Yeah.
It's not specific. I'd love to hear these in other cultures and in other countries. Ones dissimilar to our own. So if anyone has any interesting curses, I'd love to hear them. See, I'm getting it because I had the widow's curse upon you. Now I've got the cat's curse upon you.
Not the curse of the cat.
The curse that you told the story recently, or I told the story recently of the cave of the cats.
Yes, you did.
I've been telling a lot of stories lately. The cat's curse upon me.
Cats are evil creatures. As I saw a joke headline, not evil, sorry, but I saw a joke headline recently that went, cats announced that they can't spread COVID-19, but if they could, they would.
As the owner of 2 wonderful 16-month-old kittens, they're going to be 10-year-old kittens at some point. They're still going to be kittens. A cat's curse upon you.
Oh, fair enough.
But what is a cat's curse?
That may your vases last no more than a week, and before I knock them over.
knocking the glass
yeah.
off the table.
Is this important to you? Is it? Oh wow, priceless, you say.
Yeah, that's what they're like. I
Yeah.
respect that. Even when you were casting me down to hell, Eleanor, a moment ago, what was going through my head is the representation of the devil in Irish storytelling is not all bad.
No, it's someone you can have a conversation with.
Yeah, and very. I know, what's that movie where the Devil's Advocate, where Al Pacino refers to God as an absentee landlord. You know, and he of course is the devil, and he's here. He's approachable, he's accessible. And in the story again of Stingy Jack, the devil's quite understanding. Like he's a man of his word. If he says something, he'll stick by it.
That's very interesting that you can feel that we take notice of the presence of the devil more than God. It's almost as if, when if you get up in the morning and it's a lot colder than you had expected it to be, you notice that. Whereas if it's the temperature, if it's like the perfect temperature, you don't.
Well, I'm not getting out of bed if it's the perfect temperature.
No. I'm not getting out of bed if it's cold either.
I enjoy the misery of it. But I think the devil, and if you think about like kind of the history around the devil, not the devil.
Yeah.
Quite human.
Yeah.
So I'm alright hanging out in his company? Yeah. Okay, I'm alright with that.
Okay, I'll remember that.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
What was that?
Time for a curse.
You're like the granny in what's your one Catherine Tate does when she's like, hit. We won't go into it. Anyway, Go on. It's obviously a good one you've got.
Alright. May all the goats in Gorey chase you to hell.
No, not into it.
Gorey is a seaside town in County Wexford.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't be into it.
I don't know how many goats they have at present, but I definitely think it's enough for, a trip to hell.
One's enough.
One's enough.
One's enough. I like goats. I like going to Teo Farm and going to the pet and zoo park and feeding the goats.
Well, imagine if the goats betrayed you like this.
I remember I was over in Eileen's place, a former staff member here, did the eco farm over in Connemara, and there's a great photograph of me sitting in a field with a load of goats, and it was good fun. But I was in Kerry many years ago. I think it was in my second year of college, so that's 20 odd years ago, and I fell asleep in the sand dunes. And when I woke up in this hollow, I looked up and there were goats around the edge of the crater that I was in. And one of them had a black face, and the rest were all seemed to be following the leadership of this one. And I'd gone for a bit of a nap in the dunes, and they were quite intimidating creatures.
I can imagine. That could have been your time.
Yeah, and an older memory than that is in Dublin Zoo years ago, when I believe I was actually in a buggy, so it was very small, and a goat got out of the petting farm. And in my memory, the old woman would have been in her 90s, grabbed the goat by the horns and wrestled it back into the pen.
Jesus.
Very clear memory. That was a woman you wouldn't mess with.
No, that was a visitor.
That was a visitor.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could tell she was used to it.
You
could tell she was used to it.
Yeah.
Even the goat in Tom's story recently, if you get a chance to go check out our videos on Facebook, Tom tells a great story for Halloween, which features quite a strong goat. Yeah. But not strong enough. Anyway, I'm not going to go for that one that's poking its head about. It's like that kid in the class. Me. Was that you?
No.
No, okay. Well, it wasn't me either. I don't want to do this one. I'm going to do it, but It's not at you again. It's actually maybe at some of you. Weariness of heart upon you.
Aww.
Yes, because sad, isn't it?
I feel like my heart is already weary.
Get over it. Move on. Weariness of heart upon you. Because there's a lack of hope in that. There's a hopelessness to it that even when you're, firing these bitter shots across the table at me, Eleanor, it's like, we'll look for the positive in it. But that just sucks all the energy.
And it's not the same as, oh, I hope your eyeballs explode and your hands turn to claws and your so on and so forth.
And your eyelashes dry up and fall from your face.
Yeah.
Because even if I had
You
that
swallow
curse,
and choke on them.
I'd be like, well, I'm going to save a fortune on mascara. This is not all natural. Yeah, I don't like that one, the weirdness. Come on, I hope your next one is a fun one,
Alright.
then. We may have this be our last one.
Last one?
Yeah.
Oh
So you're
man.
going to just pull a load of them out of it.
Ah, this is a good one. Pismires and spiders be in your marriage bed.
Sorry. Just, if you could, to the camera, please.
Pismires and spiders be in your marriage bed.
Okay, let's break it down. First word.
Pismire.
Oh, that's one word.
Yeah.
What's a pissmire?
Dunno.
No idea. If anyone knows what
Is
a
it like an
pissmire
earwig?
is. Pissmire.
Yeah. Pissmire.
I'll look into it. Pissmire and spider webs.
And spiders
Lost in spiders.
be in your marriage bed. Not just any bed.
Your marriage bed.
Yeah.
There'd be nothing going on then, would there?
No. Be very uncomfortable.
Not into it. No, it reminds me of the fairy list story where the little girl steals the fairies' flowers, and everywhere she tries to go to bed is. And when you're telling the story, like with kids in the room, you make what's in the bed more disgusting and gross.
Yeah.
I think originally it was just nettles in the bed, but then it was slugs and spiders, and I like spiders. I don't like slugs. I like snails. For some reason I don't like slugs. But I don't like that one, but it's very visual.
Yes, yeah, that's my favorite. My favorite curses are the more visual ones. People, you know, especially in the 19th century, you know, Irish people and poor like Irish people, peasants and so on, would have been painted, especially in like the British press, as uncouth and illiterate and stupid. But there was a great verbal literacy and dexterity. Yeah.
You still get that in Dublin. You think of that in Dublin. I remember being mugged, being approached.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
It was okay. It was fine. It's fine now. I was terrified at the time. But when the guy came up to me on O'Connell Street and spoke to me in such a way, he was very polite with his language and he was very clear spoken. And there was something about how considered his words were that made me nervous.
Right.
Like, this guy is going to do what he's going to do. He's already made the decision. And I suppose with curses, you have that intent as well.
Yes.
It's so purposeful. I can imagine though as a child, wax people. Not wax people. Ah, there we go. There you go. That'll stay in. I'm not editing that out of it.
Okay.
Always be careful when dealing with a naked flame.
Yes, indeed.
Put some clothes on, flame. Just blow that one out.
Okay.
I love the smell of it though. Yeah, the intention is terrifying. But as a kid, cursing someone, and I don't mean swearing, and with swearing, when you say something and you catch yourself saying it, when you say something hurtful to someone,
yeah,
and you instantly regret that thing that you said, that's a powerful feeling.
Yeah.
That's a powerful feeling when you lash out at someone verbally. It can be quite hurtful, and that's why words hurt people. I mean, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about curses, but the power of words. We've spoken before, myself and yourself, Eleanor, about the idea that storytelling is magic, and how you can get people to react and feel just by the things that you say and how you use them and move with it is so powerful. But yeah, I'd ask people to be careful what you say to people, because you don't know the effect it's going to have. And the idea that you will have hurt someone, it's not a nice feeling.
No, it's not. Unless your intention is to hurt them, and then it's great.
We work together. I'm glad of the whole social distancing thing at the moment.
Can I give one last curse that we didn't get to pull out of the thing?
Go on. What's your favourite curse?
All right. May the curse of Mary Malone and her 9 blind, illegitimate children chase you so far over the hills of damnation that the Lord himself can't find you with a telescope. And there's a lot in that.
There's a lot in that, but something you don't know.
Oh?
My grandmother's name was Mary Malone. You just cursed me with my own dead grandmother.
Well, I've cursed her with the and her 9 children. So, what you're?
Well, in fairness, Malone was the name she took on her second marriage.
Okay.
So, yeah, we won't go into that. But it's a very detailed curse.
Yeah.
Thank you for cursing with my dead grandmother.
Sorry.
It's okay. I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Wherever. That's how you. Wow. That's such a personal dig there for your final one.
So,
what is it you love about that one?
So okay. So we don't know who Mary Malone is.
Well, I do.
And so it's so what it is. It's not the children or Mary Malone. Her 9 children. Her blind children.
Small Irish family, though.
Yeah. And illegitimate children, which back then would have, I guess, been seen as a curse. It was so serious to have an illegitimate child, let alone 9. But it's their curse that everyone's, if you're cursed, you're gonna try not to have you're gonna try and prevent the curse.
Yeah.
You're gonna try and outrun the curse. But the curse is chasing you, and it's chased you to hell, and it's chasing you over the hills of damnation, and you've gotten so far into hell that the Lord himself, who might be trying to find you and save you, can't actually find you, even with his telescope, which I'd imagine would be a fairly powerful telescope.
It would be now. I'd say you wouldn't have got an Argos. You would have got a speciality. Because when he created the heavens and earth, so we're led to believe, then yeah.
And he should know his way around them.
I can see why you wanted to fit that one in.
Yeah.
So on that bizarre train of thought at the end, guys, all that's left for me to do is say thank you, Eleanor.
Thank you,
for taking us on this horrendous trip through courses. And thank you everyone for listening, and make sure to come by and check out some more of our videos very, very soon.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Be safe.